All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Jared and Braxton from 3Cs. We are in the middle of a mega build. We're building the 2026 200 Race Edition. We're doing everything to this bike that you can possibly think of. So much cool stuff happening. But obviously right in the middle of a build like this, we want to start from the fresh right from the beginning. So we're going to check how much grease comes from the factory and a brand new beta. So all day long at the shop, people are like, do I need to take my bike home? Do I need to grease it? How much grease is in the steering stem bearing? How much grease is in the linkage? So we're going to show you this video. It's super quick, super easy video. Let's start with the wheels. So I'm going to pull the rear wheel up here right now. And these ones are kind of hard to, it came out. So here you go. You got some grease right here on the spacer. You can see they've kind of got some blob on the outside there. And of course, like the wheel bearing itself, right? We don't know how packed that is because it's got the seal. They're sealed bearings, so it's more about what's inside of the wrapper. But at least you can see in the hub anyway, we do have grease in the rear. And same with the front. These are sealed bearings in the front. And you can see right away, there's like a ton of white. I don't know if I just got lucky with this build, but see how much grease is here. And again, these are sealed bearings. So it's more about taking the bearing all the way out and packing it. So there's that. And if you're curious, come right in here, Brax, show this. Like I noticed right away, like that grease was hanging down right there. And then if you go back and show them the swing arm bolt too. So if you come, check out how much was in that thing. So there's quite a bit of grease already in this thing. So what we're gonna do is let's start with the steering stem. That's gonna be a little bit of a challenge for me to hold this. I've got everything loose but this. So I feel like it's all gonna fall out, maybe. Let's see what happens. Because I already got the nut off the top. The nut is gone. So let me try to break this thing loose a little bit. Okay, that's okay, as expected. Check that out, dude. Look how much grease is on this radiator cap is not on, so that might fall off too. Dude, that is completely packed with grease. That's so cool. You literally probably couldn't pack any more grease inside of that. That is very cool. And because it's connected to the brake, let's check the top here too, Brax. So come on in up here. Look at that amount of grease in there. It's cool in that cap. And then in that bearing. There's no way you guys need to take these apart at home to do any of this. So there's the steering. I'm gonna put this back together really quick so it doesn't fall apart. Okay, so that's got at least a bolt back in it for now. We'll put the forks in there, tighten this all down evenly, but we didn't put any grease in there. There's literally no more room for any more grease. So I'm not sure if I just got lucky with a special build here at 3Cs. So these are your shock bolts. There's definitely some grease on there. We don't need a ton more. And let me get this guy out. We are about to do an aluminum subframe upgrade on this thing, and I'm so pumped on that. So here's the shock. Obviously there's no bearing at the bottom. The upper on this, it's really hard to tell. I don't know if there's a ton in the upper. It's just more of a ball bearing bushing up here. So what I can do now is we're gonna pull this one out. There's not much grease on that rear linkage bolt. This linkage bolt, again, pretty dry. There's like a little bit of a shine to them, but not much. All right, so here's the linkage coming out. Let's make sure the camera's focused. Let's see what we actually have inside of this thing. So this is how, there's like outside spacers on these kits. So let's break into it deeper here. Oh, look at that, it's completely packed. I don't know if you can tell, Brax, but see how that white grease down in there? Oh, how about that? The lighting's better if I do it that way. Can you see down in there how much grease is around all those needle bearings? Oh, there's some grease right there on the sleeve. So I would say this linkage is perfectly greased, at least on that piece. Put that one back together. We can check this one. Let's have a look at this one too. So if we push down on it, yeah, dude, that is completely packed with grease inside of there. That is so stinking cool. So linkage is good. The next thing we're gonna check is the front dog bone of the linkage right here. If I can pull this one out. Again, I gotta use my little bent screwdriver. Okay. This one, oh, I almost lost all the needles. Yeah, that is still completely packed with grease. So I don't know, we're not even gonna grease these. There's no more room for any extra grease to even go in. can see how much grease is coming out right there on those threads. So that's greased. The last thing we're going to show you guys is going to be that swing arm. So as you look right here, I think we already showed that. Look how much grease is actually on the bolt there. So that's pretty heavily greased, like to the point to where you need to like wipe it off to pull it out. So, and again, this is a brand new 2026, just so you guys know at home. You can't get much more grease on it than that because it's got to fit through there. So it wipes a lot of the grease right back off that shaft. I don't know if that bike's going to fall off of there. We're going to grab this bike real quick. The bike didn't fall, but just don't bump it, because that would be a sad day. Okay, the inside of that one could use, I don't want to say could use more, but let's see. I wish the lighting was a little bit better. Can you see down in there? Let me grab a flashlight. All right, guys, we're trying to make our lighting better. Check that out. So yeah, there's, I mean, it's packed. Like every needle, you can't put any more around the needle. Now we could fit a little bit more around the seal on the inside of there. So the swing arm, we're definitely going to put a little bit of grease in right now. We'll grease that up a little bit more before we stick it back together. We're going to use some Maxima, the waterproof grease on this. Basically, I'm just going to take like a fingerful. And I'm not pushing the spacer all the way out because I don't want the needles to fall out. If you keep it halfway in there, and then now I can spin this whole thing around. Well, the chain's kind of keeping me from spinning it because it's stuck on the stand, but we can grease on the inside of there. And now that one's perfectly good. I don't know if I can get these spacers out without the screwdriver. We're gonna push it out that way. That one's got quite a bit in the bearings. I think I'm just adding more grease around the seal than anything, so that way we don't get anything else inside the cavity to begin with. So there you go. That is a grease swing arm. The needles were good. I just wanted to add some around where the spacers go. Thanks for watching this video. This was Jared and Braxton from 3Cs. If you don't mind, please consider subscribing to our channel and hitting the like button. It helps our video explode. Also, if you guys are buying your beta parts, please go to betausa.com and choose 3Cs as your preferred dealer. It helps us do builds like this. Like, we do not need to build a bike to this caliber for us to go ride around. But when we do stuff like this, we're just giving more content and feedback to you guys. So thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the ride. We'll see you on the trail.